So, today we are here to discuss the science of leadership, and this is all about arising within, okay, as the wealthy warrior leader, and really looking to see how we can take our leadership of ourself, our family or co leadership, our community, and our service, our global service to the next level, to a real quantum leap. Now, I have just finished, so I am also. So, hi Hassan, lovely to have you on. Thank you everybody for joining. Do let me know whereabouts you're from. Comment down below any questions you have. Really, really grateful to have you here. So, a little bit about me. I am a leadership mentor, leadership coach, but I am also a full time medical doctor. I'm a consultant family physician. So, I've just completed a whole day of clinic and also appraisal. So I'm an appraiser for other GPs and a medical school examiner. GP means like general practitioner or consultant family physician. So I'm based in London in the United Kingdom. So obviously it's different globally. So what I found with a lot of the patients that I see who are leaders, appraisees who are doctors in leadership positions or aspiring to a leadership position, entrepreneurs I have as clients or students in my membership legacy leader circle who are really looking to great to nice to meet you too, Hassan, great to take their leadership to the next level, right? And the biggest thing that came out was in looking at what are the qualities of a warrior heart leader? Like it all sounds very nice, right? To say that, just bring this a bit closer. It all sounds very nice to say that, but when you're then in the boardroom, okay, and you can feel the conflict, you can feel that energy, not great energy, and you are wondering, how do I rise over this or through this? Or like, it's not just about strategy. Okay, we could sit here in strategy sessions till the cows come home, and we've all been in them, right? But ultimately, this is actually leading now to a leadership consciousness. So, what do I mean by that? It is the thoughts in alignment with the feelings and therefore the actions, right? Right. So, let me know your thoughts down below if you have any questions on this, because do you think that leadership is just about a title? Right? So, for example, if you became CEO today or CFO or on the executive leadership team, or perhaps you're a solopreneur and you're a coach and you want to take your company to the next level, perhaps you're a GP partner or a consultant psychiatrist, or you are a parent leading your family. Like myself, I've got two beautiful boys, leading them alongside my husband. So, this is all leadership, and you know what? Leadership starts from within. Okay. And leadership starts with, how am I leading myself? Okay. What are the values? I want you to imagine you have in your heart your a compass. Okay. And in times of real turbulence and challenging times, it is that compass that is going to help you to navigate through. And that's what I found in real challenging, turbulent times, whether it was at work or at home, personal life. We've all been through it. If you're a human being, you've been through it. Okay. So that's what got me through that. It was the compass. But what do I mean by that? You have to put inside the compass your values. So, what are your values? Your values might be kindness, it might be compassion, okay? But how do you then lead with that in a challenging situation where perhaps somebody is being degraded or insulted? There is conduct issues perhaps in an organization and you are on the executive leadership team. Perhaps that is your role to look into that, as one of my patients was having too, to look into that side of leadership where you are really being called to lead, right? And that will start with how you lead yourself with peace, inner peace, with your truth, meaning integrity, authenticity. This is when it really shines through how true you are to your values. Is it easy? No, unfortunately, it is not. It is not always easy to be a good person and to have right conduct and truth, and to still do that in the most peaceful, most loving, compassionate way. But you know what? Some people have not, they've somehow got into their position where they have not ever been called out on whatever it is, misogyny, their poor conduct, whatever the reason. There was a very old style of leadership whereby it was very much sort of like nepotism, and people just somehow got to a certain position, certain boards, and they kind of helped each other out. And then you might be coming on now, joining that team, or perhaps you are the leader of your team and you're wanting to really, lead from these beautiful values, which sound great in a leadership book, which I'm actually writing, and sound great in a meditation. But then when we are in the war room, right, or at the board, at the table, we are there having those conversations. Now, what are we going to do? So lean into your warrior heart compass of values. Write them out. Comment them down below if you want, or do this as an exercise. Feel free to message me if you want to hash this out together. But really lean into, what are my values? Okay. I would love for you to take a sheet of paper and really, this is holistic. Okay. Leadership is not just in the workplace. It is how we, as I said, even lead ourselves. Okay. So how am I leading my health? That's one column: health, mental health, physical health. Okay. If you are experiencing disharmony right now, anxiety, burnout, doubt, that inner peace, and you can achieve that. I really firmly believe you can have it all. You can have the wealth you desire, the impact. You can do it in a values based, authentic, ethical way. You can do it with your faith, your family, your fitness, fulfillment, and finances first. You absolutely can. Is it going to take work? Yes. Okay, but it is very much inner work before the outer work. So the outer work is all the strategy. Okay, and we need some strategy. We need something to work from, right? We need something. But really, to be honest, um, there are multiple strategies. Same destination. There are multiple destinations. You'll still get there. But what matters is the inner work, in my opinion. Right? We need both, but the inner work. What do I mean by inner work? I mean exactly this. What are my values? So that when it comes to those challenging times, it is literally going to be something you pull from within you. And this might be in conflict negotiation. Okay, one of the key modules we teach in the virtual leadership school, Legacy Leader Circle: conflict negotiation, conflict management, and whether that's at home or in the workplace or however you're managing that situation, the confidence behind that, seeking to understand. And again, it's from self leadership. Okay, so I'd love to know, if you feel free to comment down below if there's any questions you have on this, or your comments on this as well. I'd love for you to share. But often that's what I found, was that when there have been really difficult situations, particularly in the workplace, and you know that you need to call something out and it's the right thing to do, and there is a way in which to do it. Right. And I don't mean just a strategy, the calm leadership way in alignment with your values, meaning that you are also, for example, with health, calm in your mind, body, and soul, because you know you're doing the right thing. There is also then leaning into, as a leader, what is the vision for this, right? That is your North Star. Okay. So we have now the problem, the situation, but in order to move ahead, to get a plan, we first need to know, what is the North Star? Like, where are we going? Again, like with Google Maps, what is the destination? And I would love for you to actually write it out. Write it out, the destination of this particular scenario, of your vision. So if hopefully if times are great and things are going well, then what is the big vision here? What is the big vision, right? You want to be a top global leader in your industry. Um, what does that look like for you? Are you speaking on stage in a global conference, which is a huge big deal in your industry, and you are the opening keynote speaker, or one of the top, one of the goats? and you are masterminding with these colleagues of yours. You are speaking with so much ease and comfort and grace. And again, it's all coming from within you. Anyone can make a beautiful presentation and put together, great PowerPoints now, especially with AI. And that's great. It's, in my opinion, really important, integral life saving skills, I would say, and life changing skills that I draw upon every day as a parent, right? As a parent, in leading my boys, in leading myself, right? In leading myself, in leading by example. It's an energy. It's an energy which takes action as well, but also in deciding what is the right action in this scenario and taking a step back. What is the vision? What are my values? And then that will help you to decide then the best form, the next best step. Okay. When we meditate, and meditation is a key part, your Legacy Leaders Circle, which is my membership, virtual leadership school, is also an emotional well-being school, because I firmly believe that healing is a key integral part that a lot of leadership programs completely miss out, right? If we all did just read a leadership book or went on these leadership programs, I mean, then why is there so much corruption and not very ethical issues occurring in leadership, right? In all around the world and all industries. So for me, it very much comes down to emotional well-being and values. When you're able to, leading yourself means you take care of your health, right? Would you agree? You're taking responsibility, not just for your organization and for your business or for your career and for your service users and people you're serving, but for your family, right? Whatever that means for you, for your community, and for yourself, right? And the way you look after yourself, the way you nourish your mind. What do you listen to? Right? What do you, how are you nourishing your money? Your well, yes, your money as well. We'll talk about wealth and investments. Investing in yourself, right? That is then ethically you are investing, ethically you are taking care of yourself. So you see, leadership starts from within. It is a leadership consciousness, is the biggest thing I would say. And that means, what are the thoughts of that version of me when I'm fully expressing these values that I'm saying I'm having? Or if I'm truly authentic, which if you're here, you are, right? I firmly believe that. I believe in divine timing. So I believe if you are here and if you're watching this, this is what you are aspiring to do in some shape or form in whatever the beautiful work is that you are doing. Okay, you don't need a leadership title to be a leader, right? We are all leaders, or we all have the potential to be one. But there are thoughts, feelings, and then the aligned actions in accordance with that. Okay. The reason I talk a lot about meditation is because, do you not think that I firmly believe if we had every single person in this world aspire to really take care of their own emotional well-being, their own personal and professional development in some shape or form, the world will be such a much happier, healthier, safer place. And that is my mission with Legacy Leader Circle and my whole movement, Warrior Heart Leaders, because I firmly believe that you can be a wealthy warrior heart legacy leader of love and light and laughter, and enjoy your life and be mindful and do incredible work, incredible contribution and impact in this world with your beautiful divine gifts. You absolutely can do it. And you can do it with your faith first, your family first, your fitness, your fulfillment in the work that you do, getting paid well for it. And it's all dharmic, it's all ethical, right? Because you're doing this with this intention of the welfare of others and you're doing it ethically. But you are also meditating, you're taking care of yourself. When I always tell my patients and my students, when you're meditating, it does two key important things. Number one, first, it calms the nervous system. Okay. It calms the nervous system down. Research has shown that meditation is as effective as medication for certain mental health conditions, for example, anxiety, depression, stress. Obviously, see a physician. I'm seeing you in the capacity as a coach right now, not as a doctor, but still, there is evidence of that, hard evidence. And I see it in my patients all the time. Okay. Now, it does take work because the next piece is there's calmness of mind and then there is clarity of thought. What do I mean by that? When your mind is then calm, your body, right? When we've done research, physiologically, the body calms down, respiratory rate calms down, heart rate calms down. Our cells physically vibrate on a much healthier, happier, more productive, vibrant frequency. Healing, incredible healing, deep healing, even a trauma takes place. Okay. Now, yes, you might need to see your physician and perhaps medication and therapy and some other things involved, or in the work scenario, strategy, etc. Absolutely. But this is coming from within. Because then it's a second piece. The clarity of thought is, now I'm very spiritual, so I firmly believe it is that connect with the divine, or you can say universe or source or whatever works for you. For me, it's a divine. So it's very much that connection and the alignment with your energy centers. Okay. It really is, this is evidence based, and I see it. I see it all the time with my patients. I see it with my patients, whether they are parents, they are leaders in top executive positions, and they are students, anyone. It is aligning and rebalancing your energy centers, and then you get clarity of thought. You really lean into those values. You can even do a meditation if you want one, comment down below, message me. Very happy to send you one complimentary. And you can pick out then those values. What are my important values? What's important to me? And really feel that in your heart. And when you have that, oh, it's so freeing. That is what inner peace is. It's so freeing. It's so empowering. It's literally awakening the wealthy warrior legacy leader within, of love and light, yes, but also of courage. Takes courage to do right contact, doesn't it? It takes courage to do the right thing. It is not easy. It is not easy when you can be in an environment where there's gaslighting going on, toxic, unhealthy behavior, narcissism, etc. And, a lower energy wants to make that like it is okay. And like there is someone, maybe you or somebody else, who is the anomaly. But actually, no, when you lead with that right conduct, peace, truth, non-violence, that actually, for whatever reason, takes in some places great courage to do that. You might be the first one in that organization. That's why you've been called to lead there. Whether it's your own organization, whether you're listening to this and getting divine downloads to like, I want to do this, I want to start my business, I want to apply for that leadership position, I want to start my own thing, I want to start running again, I want to self-lead, take my self-leadership to the next level, and I want to really have a quantum leap. We are, whenever you're watching this, we are midway through the year right here, right now. Okay, it's July. So in 5, 6 months' time, it's the end of the year. And I don't mean that with scarcity, but excitement. Where is your life? Where do you want your life to be 6 months from now? And remember all those beautiful life pillars. In the tree of life, the tree trunk is health. So start with health, because we can't do anything else without our health, okay? And our body takes commands from our mind. So start with your mind. Start with your mental, emotional, mind health. Our mind is full of incredible faculties. It's beautiful what we can create. And as my mentor, Bob Proctor, said, you create it twice. First in your mind, and then in your life. First in your mind means that imagination. Okay, using the faculties of our mind to really imagine. So write it down, the first column on the piece of paper: health, mental health. How do you want to feel? Whatever's going on, right? Two pieces of paper. One, whatever's going on right now that you are like, I don't know the how, but I'm gonna make changes. And on a separate piece of paper is how you want it to be. You use your imagination and you write down the result that you're aspiring for. Okay. And what are those values in alignment with that? So the first column is health. Remember, mental health and physical. Next column is wealth. So what is that financial number, that sort of peace of mind number, that number of impact where you can really give back to your family, to your community, to society, really contribute to causes you really care about and make a phenomenal impact in this world through also your work, whether it's, I don't know, services, through courses, through the way you interact with people, on a personal level. It's whatever it is, the way you are with your kids, the way you are with your parents, with your family, healing the lineage, cleansing the bloodline, whatever it is, whatever you feel your work is here on this earth to do. But wealth, what is that number, right? It might be the salary you're being paid right now. It might be your current business revenue per month, or it might be that times 10. It's whatever it is, but write down an actual number, because, like I told you, Google Maps, it needs something to work with. You can change your destination as you get closer, as you get calmer, as you get more clarity. You can always change it as you go along. But it's like we're getting in the car right now. We're heading to your destination, which is the life that you want, the life that you're creating, with gratitude for where you are right here, right now. We kind of need to know, right? Like, hey, so are we going right or left, right? Right? We need to at least know, we need to get moving. Then as we get closer and you develop more of your network and you've developed more of these incredible values-based leadership skills in yourself and in your work, then you might refine it. You might refine the results more into what it is you love to do. Okay. The more you do your work in whatever way you feel inspired from this, the more it will refine those thoughts, and that voice is refining, is toning the mental faculties. Okay. So the second thing is your work. So we've got wealth, but then we've got work, because they don't have to necessarily be connected, right? You might have incredible inheritance, right? Or you might be quite happy with the job that you do and you really enjoy that. You enjoy that monthly pay, but you want to start your own business or create your own thing or your own charity or something else on the side. And you want to make that not just a side hustle or a side thing. You want to make that the main thing, and you are pumped up and so excited. Okay. It's the reason you wake up in the morning so excited to get started on it. It's a ripple effect. Okay. And the third column is love, relationships with yourself. Always starts with yourself. Relationships with your family, with your colleagues, people you interact with. Relationships, even when someone cuts in front of you in the traffic, right? That is a form of relationship. How are we interacting? What is the energy we're spreading out there? Okay. So I was telling my kids the other day, when we throw a little pebble into the water and then there's that beautiful ripple effect, that stone you're throwing in is you. That is your action. That is your contribution to the world. I don't care what industry you're doing, what your role is, whether you have a title or not, what it is you're doing, what your income is, whatever. We all have that contribution. Now, are you going to throw a stone of love or hate? You have a choice. And there are ripple effects and consequences from that. And you have a choice in what you want to do. You have a choice in how big you want to make that pebble, right? The bigger the pebble, like a rock, the bigger the contribution, right? The bigger the impact. And yes, the bigger the income as a byproduct. Sorry, the bigger the impact, the bigger the legacy. And how beautiful. And how beautiful to be part of a community of legacy leaders who are also doing that in their own way, who are like rooting for you, right? There's no competition here in Legacy Leader Circle. Amateurs compete. Okay. Here we each person hone their craft to excellence, because that is our divine gift we've been given. It's our right and it's our duty to perfect that. Right? Take imperfect action, but what I mean is you are constantly honing it, right? That's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing here with you right now. I'm honing my skills. I'm toning my faculties. I'm honing my voice. I'm honing my mission, right? I'm sharing. I'm inviting, right? So I'm also going further and forward in how I lead by example. And then tonight I will reflect upon this as I journal with the kids and we meditate and, reflect, how can I do it with gratitude for what I've done, but how can I go even better? How, even if it's just 1 or 2%. When it comes to tomorrow, right? How can I share this even more? How can I contribute even more? But with gratitude for where I'm at right now and fulfillment and enjoying. Okay. So really look at your contribution to the world with gratitude for where you're at right now. And this is for me, what I firmly believe. Okay. With leaders of today, there is no need to be a top leader and to have burnout and stress and worry and doubt. As I said, the leadership for me, it comes from within. Okay. I feel like when we have incredible qualities. Hassan's asked, oh yeah, so just got some questions here. Sorry. So Hassan has asked, what's your definition of a good and bad person? So you know what? There's a law of polarity or the law of opposites. Okay. Everybody has a capacity to be good or bad within them. Okay. Good, it's essentially opposites, and it's also perspective on how we view a situation. Okay. So for me, good a good person is someone who is expressing these good qualities and values as much as possible. It is their predominant state, and it is filtered out in everything they do. So their interactions with people, even if they make a mistake, how they then correct themselves and what they're going to do about it, and the responsibility that they take in that, in their own action and in their learning. Um, Good qualities for me are things like truth. Includes things like being authentic, integrity, including to yourself, right? So not lying to yourself. Discipline, making a command and following it through for yourself. Non-violence, right? So yes, there's self-defense, but non-violence, even in our words, even in our thoughts, right? Even in our thoughts. Right conduct, as I said, we all know this, but it is doing it. It is doing it in those challenging times. Okay. It is doing it in those challenging times, and it's not doing it dependent on what the consequences could be. Now, obviously, this is dependent on the situation and the scenario, of course, and calm warrior heart leadership is needed to know how to navigate carefully certain obstacles in order to keep the welfare and the highest good for everyone involved. So it doesn't always mean right conduct, doesn't always mean you go in like a bulldozer and have a fight with everyone just for the sake of good right conduct, because the next one is non-violence. So you're doing things, in my opinion, with as much compassion as possible. Um, and often that will mean firm boundaries, a firm no, you know, firm rules, right? When I'm telling my children off and we're doing timeouts where their timeout is basically journaling. Okay, so it's not really much of a timeout compared to when I grew up. But for example, journaling, like why, but reflect on what was wrong about that. And that I think is so beneficial to really look at. It's not shaming them, but it's really leaning into, well, you think about it, because this is consciousness work. Why are you in trouble? What do you think was wrong there? And let's go through the values again. Okay, so then they'll know, okay, it's because I did. Okay, so how is that not in alignment with this? Okay, what's the opposite then? What do you think how could you have expressed those values? So I don't firmly believe that there's somebody who is fully like a bad person, is that they're expressing these like bad qualities, but often it can be ignorance that they may not know that. They may have grown up in that. They may be surrounded by that, where that is considered just the way to be to survive in certain areas or certain industries or whatever. But that is a belief that can be changed, because change is inevitable. Personal growth is a choice, but it takes work, right? It takes work when, I'm waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning to sit there with doing my prayers, my meditation, doing my journal work. Like, I'm not perfect at this. I'm learning alongside you too, right? I don't claim to be the origins of all of this information, but I am endeavoring to master it as much as I can, to teach it to as many people as I can, including my kids, and do the best work I can. And when I make a mistake too, which I do because I'm human, how can I make it right? How can I take responsibility for this? Does my ego get hurt? Oh yes, right. Okay. I don't want to admit to my mistakes, right? But actually, yeah, because I don't want my ego to win. right? I want to focus on the welfare of humanity and what's the right thing to do here, and I can take action on this. Or why did I find that so triggering? Or why did I get so angry? Or what was that about? Like, why am I so upset about this? And really leaning into that. That takes work. That takes work to put your ego down and to then do a meditation on it and a prayer and read books around whatever you think you clearly there's something I'm ignorant about in that situation. So I need to do some learning then. What is this about? What are the themes? On personal growth here. Okay, then let me grow, let me study it. Okay, I've studied quite a lot of it. Now let me now teach it, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing right here now with you, right? So am I perfect with it? No. But then as I gain more mastery and honing it further, then there'll be another masterclass, right? On this. And that's what we do inside Legacy Leaders as well. So I hope that's my personal thoughts on your question. So let me know. So what I wanted to share with you is just that if you are finding yourself in a challenging situation, however that looks like to you, okay, that focus on those values. Calmness of nervous system is of mind, body, soul is so important and really helps because first it keeps you in a healthy state. Fear is an illusion of the mind. It's not true, okay? It makes you think that you are trapped. It's not real. What often happens is we have doubt, worry, fear, and then that becomes anxiety. And then what happens is when the mind is not at ease, then I have the people booking in as patients who will often, because it's become the body's gone into disease state, which means it's in a state of dis-ease, harm. It's not in harmony. So something's come out. They've come out with a rash, or they've got palpitations, or they've got headaches, or migraines, or they're getting diarrhea, or something's going on because the body is saying, "Hey, I'm not. Something's going on here. Can we do something about this?" And that is the mind. The mind is the captain of your ship. Okay, and it is up to you to look at your map every day. My mentor Bob Proctor's call it a goal card, but I like to call it your map. Where am I going? Am I still happy to go on this journey? Because you can change it anytime you want. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and what you can't do. All you need to do is you only answer to the divine and you stick to your values, which are heart based. Heart, for me, the warrior heart is H, healing. So you do your healing work, right? If there is work, if I'm angry or upset or there's something going on, there may be some healing work I need to do around it or whatever that is. So healing. The E is economy. So creating your own economy. For me, I love having my own business. I also have jobs. I'm working full time as a doctor and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy teaching. It's also emotional regulation. So your emotions are your responsibility. They're our own responsibility. And to really regulate and learn that. My kids now learn it in school, but most people my age, right, I'm 42, did not learn that, right? The next thing is a activation of the wealthy warrior legacy leader within. Okay, so activate it, right? And then alignment with those values. So what do I need to do? So that version of me who, is doing right conduct in this situation, well, what will she do? What will she do about this? Okay, I might need to take some time and go away. I might not have the answer right then. I might need to be like, well, this is the work in progress right now for the next 3 months. I'm going to do meditation every morning. I'm going to sit with the divine and meditate. Read your divine books if you want, whether that's the Bhagavad Gita or the Bible or Torah, whatever it is. Connect with your personal development materials. We do this in Legacy Leaders as well in terms of personal growth. And then you have whatever the strategy is you've chosen, and then you work on that. And that might take work, and that is okay because you are then moving forward step by step by step. The mind is not in fear when we have productive action working towards a goal, even if it's not fully achieved yet, even if it's actually going to take some time. Sometimes there is fun, or there is at least some fulfillment, or maybe we're not happy about the situation, but we are feeling so much more at peace knowing that, okay, well, I'm doing something about it. And that is a much better mental and physical state to be in than I'm just a victim and I'm just going to let it all happen to me and I'm just going to blame everyone and I'm going to be angry. And yeah, sure, you may have incredible justifications to be super angry or super sad or super upset. But that is not a bad quality. Obviously, these are normal emotions, okay? But what I'm trying to say is that we have a choice to move out of that state into something which is more productive. That means we can actually move forward with our life. Not toxic positivity. I don't mean that. But that's why I lean into peace, because there can be stuff going on, but you can at least lean into peace, right, in challenging times, and move things forward, starting with yourself. And I promise, by leading by example, even if it's like 1%, people feel that energy. People feel that, even without you having to tell them. You can't change people. Trust me, I've tried. It doesn't work, okay? So you can't change people. But actually, the way you can, well, actually, you can change people, but the way you do that is changing yourself. So love yourself for who you are, have gratitude for this beautiful journey you've been on to get you to where you are right here, right now, with me, right here, right now. Okay. Be grateful for the journey, but even all the challenges, I know, all the challenges, all the lessons. But be grateful for them because it got you here. But at some point, we need to take off the survival mentality, and I'm a survivor, which actually got you here. So be grateful for it. And we can now lean into leadership consciousness of like, I'm here. I want to teach this to others. I'm going to contribute as much as I can to help as many people as possible, as deeply as possible with my divine gifts, whatever they are, right? And hone them. And it's not like I'm going to be the best, that better than everyone else. No, I don't mean that. But I'm going to be the best of me, the best I can cultivate my skills as much as possible. And it's exciting, it's fun. I'm always looking to what's the next leadership book I'm going to learn from, what's the next medical course I'm going to go on, I want to learn from. And, even learning from my beautiful patients and students when they say, oh, I did this form of therapy and it really helped me. Oh, amazing. Tell me, what was the name of the therapy? Was this? Okay, I'm making notes. Oh, I'd love to read a book about that, or integrate that, or maybe I can learn. I'm also learning some therapy skills. So I love that. And it becomes then fulfillment. Do you see the difference? Is that, if I hope I'm explaining that correctly? That's the difference when you're moving forward and you're doing something about it for yourself and for others. There's a great fulfillment in that. It's a very different mental state. It's a very healthy mental state. Can you see how my kind of energy changed a bit there? Then if it's like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it, and that's just how they are, and this person's always like this, and that, like, energy flows where focus goes, right? So your thoughts, I always tell my kids, imagine your thoughts is energy, right? It's thought energy. Imagine your thoughts are like water. Okay. So we have weeds here. These are, I don't know what you want to call it, bad qualities, lower energy, hate, anger, sadness, whether that's within yourself or someone, it might be someone you love very much, or it might be in the world or something you've read in the news, whatever it is. That is a weed. Weed meaning, yes, it's a normal emotion, but nobody wants to be in that emotional state for a prolonged period of time. It's not healthy. Okay. So that is a weed. Then we have a rose, a beautiful rose, happiness, love, kindness, compassion, positive contribution. All of these things, these are roses, beautiful memories, beautiful time that you had somebody. It might just be like a cup of tea, but that is contrary to a lot of suffering that's going on in the world, right? So it may seem small, but it is actually a big deal. All of this is roses, the work you're doing. You being here with me right here, right now. I'm so grateful to have you here. This is a rose. I'm going to journal about this tonight, okay? That Hassan and Jules join me. But this is a rose, right? Now, I've got thought energy, okay? Got my thought energy. This is actually my cup of coffee. But let's imagine this is water, okay? These are all my thoughts, okay? Now, shall I pour my thoughts on the weeds, right? Of, I don't know, stuff that I could scroll after this, and probably there's some awful thing that's happened in the world, and read all about it and read 10 million articles about it, and then all the comments, and really like get into anger, get into the state of anxiety, get almost into, you can almost feel anger, the state. That's the ripple effect. Okay, it's a ripple effect. So I can get drawn into that and pour it all over those weeds, and they grow really strong, and then that takes over my, it's not a leadership consciousness then, it's taking over, and it's allowing those bad qualities to then just literally grow and take over my whole mind, like an overgrown horrible garden. Or my beautiful roses here, it might seem like small, like I did my clinic and I did a live on Substack, and not about look at me, I did a live on Substack, but like, oh, I really enjoyed teaching something that I've been working on myself, self leadership, and I feel really good that I shared that, and that feels good to know I'm putting that out there. even if no one showed up, even if it's just for me, being proud of myself, looking myself in the mirror and saying, I'm so proud of you. Well done. You did that. You had a choice and you did that. And I did that. And I'm going to play with my kids now and have dinner with them and do my exercise, do my leadership habits, right? By the way, if you don't have my habits book, let me know and I'll send you a copy for free. So comment down below habits, but these are habits of a successful leader. So I'll do my healthy habits, my exercise. Why? This keeps me fit, gives me stamina in my mind, body, and soul to be a strong, healthy, wealthy warrior leader, right? Even if it's just for me, right? And I can pour water on that. When I'm meditating with my kids, that's pouring water on that too. That pouring water meaning I'm putting my thoughts are on that. I'm at my parents' house right now, which is lovely, and I'm enjoying spending time with my parents and gratitude for that, and energy in that. So you see, I have a choice in where I want to put my thoughts and the aligned actions. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on. That's a choice. And any moment I really want to get angry about something or get upset, which I might have every right to. So don't block how you feel. Process it. Take a moment, process it, right? And it's a practice, it's a skill. And the more you do it, the quicker it gets. Don't block it. Don't just be like, actually, you're angry, but actually, I'm going to block it off and pretend I'm happy. No, it doesn't work. Okay. It just makes the anger bigger. And then when you feel it here in your chest and it feels all heavy, that's just anxiety and anger. And it becomes palpitations. And it's just, it's not worth it. You can take a moment if you're out somewhere and go to the bathroom, deep breaths. I tell my kids, look at themselves in the mirror because they can see how they feel, talk to themselves, take deep breaths. And you can say a mantra if you want, or an affirmation, whatever works for you. Take deep breaths. You don't have to unpack the whole scenario. You might need to be like, okay, mental filing cabinet, right? Like with drawers. I'm going to put this in the drawer, but I've calmed my nervous system down now. The clarity of thought piece, okay, this is going in the mental drawer. Tonight, as we do a Legacy Leader Circle, I'm going to be doing my journaling and meditation. I'm going to unpack that. It might be in work in progress or not, but then I will unpack that. So I don't need to carry this around with me wherever I'm going in the day and infect the rest of the day. Instead, calm my mind down. And there's work to do on this, but I have a choice. Okay. So the more you do this, the quicker it gets. And this is part of what we do in Legacy Leader Circle. So if any of this resonates with you, if any of this conversation resonates with you, first of all, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. If you've liked this, please, please, please do feel free to share this with whomever you think it would help. It's completely free. I would love for you to do that. I think the world needs more of this. And I've created the virtual leadership and emotional well-being school. It's called Legacy Leader Circle. It's currently only $47 per month or $444 for the whole year. And that includes a one-to-one personal virtual coaching day on leadership and emotional well-being. You also, with the annual, get a leadership certification, Warrior Heart Leadership Certification, where we go through 12 modules in leadership skills. Okay, and that includes conflict management, emotional mastery, values-based leadership, and it includes public speaking. You can even go into the business side of it as well. So it includes everything we discussed today, but then in a whole lot more detail. I remember this is not just a course. It's not just some video, some course. I'm coaching you through this. I told you I'm also doing this as well. And as I gain more insights, I love sharing it with you as well. I'm in the community. So we have monthly masterclasses in this. That's how I teach the leadership course and certification. And also, I'm asking the members, so this is fresh, timeless teachings in leadership and emotional mastery that I'm literally teaching you every single month. And I'm there to answer any of your questions. You can cancel anytime, there's no contract, so there's no need to be concerned. So why not just come in for a month? Come in for a month. If you want to know some things we did recently, we did mid-year reset. So mid-year, because it's July, we've healed and released the last 6 months or the past, and we're now planned ahead for the next 6 months, from a personal point of view, a leadership point of view. If you actually have a service, actually planning that out, time management, all of that, but also the emotional well-being side as well. Okay, so really planning it all out in alignment with that vision, that big vision you have, and then actually, how do I make this happen? Right, that leadership self-image in a work. If you would like to have private mentoring with me, then just send me a message with the word mentor, and we can jump on a call and just check we're in alignment, and just let me know what it is that you are working through at the moment, what your goals are. I'd love to help you, and I'm here to serve you with my work. Sending you so much love and light. Namaste, and feel free to share this with whoever you want. The link is going to come down below, so you can join either monthly. $47 per month. I'd love to see you in. And for those that enroll before 5 o'clock on Sunday, you will also be having access to, when you join the annual, you're going to have access to the VIP intensive, where we're going to go deep into this, and you also get your personal consultation as well. So super glad to have you all here. Thank you so much. Send you so much love and light. Send me a message, comment down below habits if you don't have my book. I'd love to share it with you, and I'll catch you on the next masterclass. Take care. Thanks. Bye.